If you were Boaz, would you marry Rus? Imagine you are Boaz, one of the elders of Shevet Yehuda, a wealthy landowner in Beis Lechem, a shofet, member of the Sanhedrin, and somebody suggests Rus as a shidduch. Would you marry her? Rus was destitute, a widow, a Moabite convert. She was a Giores. If you were Boaz, would you marry Rus? Thankfully, Boaz married Rus, because their child Oved became the grandfather of David HaMelech. And Rus is considered Aim HaMelech, the great-grandmother of the house of David, of the Melech HaMashiach. There were earlier weddings. You see, Boaz is identified by our rabbis as Ivtzon. Ivtzon was a shofet, and he had many, many sons, many daughters. He married them off grandly, beautiful banquets, elaborate affairs. The Gemara says that Manoach, Shimshon's father, was not invited. At that point, they had not yet had Shimshon. And it appeared as if Manoach would never have children, that he wasn't blessed. And Ivtzon, Boaz, said, he's a man without blessing, and he'll never reciprocate. I won't be invited to any chasanas of his children. Manoach wasn't invited. It seems that there were very different weddings. The ones that he made for himself and his children earlier in life, and then his wedding to Rus. What changed? Life changed Boaz. Chazal say that he lost all of his children. They all predeceased him. Life changed Boaz. Tragedy, challenge, hard times. And so when he met Rus, he understood fully that the only thing that's important is faithfulness, kindness, courage, all the traits of Rus HaMoaviyah. Chazal tell us that the marriage of a Jewish man and woman should be attended by at least 10 men. We learn that it is 10 men because that's how many attended the marriage of Boaz and Rus. 10 men at the gates of the city. It was a very different wedding from those that he had tendered for his children. Life changes us. Events move us to think about what's really important, to adjust our value system. I've attended some very beautiful weddings in the past few months, just a few, and only a few of us attended, and they were beautiful, and they were meaningful, and they are going to give rise to the house of Israel. They will, in the sense of the pasuk we read in the case of Boaz and Rus, Yitein Hashem es ha'isha haba'o el beisacha kirachel u'chulayah asher banu shteihem es beis Yisrael. The new families are going to be successful in Mirz Hashem. And they're going to build up the house of Israel without having had the extravagant weddings that we might have been used to, without hundreds and hundreds of people attending. Perhaps we can now adjust. And moving forward, all of our simchas, bar mitzvahs, bris, chasanas, beautifully celebrated, meaningfully celebrated, but with a certain modesty and with a certain earnestness. And it'll be the house of Beis Yisrael being rebuilt in a more noble fashion, in a more religious fashion, and perhaps with even greater blessing than ever.